Well, for a man who wreaked so much havoc and fear on the world, the last living act of Osama bin Laden, the estranged son of a mega-wealthy Saudi Arabian family and CIA-trained guerrilla fighter, was pathetic and cowardly. He died, we're told, not trying to protect his family, but trying to save his own skin. Here's Hamish McDonald with the details of the incredibly elaborate military operation that ended the most expensive manhunt in history.
Inside his compound, evidence of a bloody end. This is where Osama bin Laden was killed, shot in the head through his left eye after he fired at the US forces who'd come to get him. President Obama authorized the operation on Friday morning. By late Sunday, he sat in the Situation Room, watching the whole thing unfold via satellite. Behind him, Admiral Mike Mullen, the calm, concerned chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Across the table, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton sits hand to mouth. Before her, pixelated, what appear to be aerial images of the compound.
The president, I think, handled this brilliantly, frankly. He had the choice of dropping bombs on it or actually going in to verify that the person that they were after was there and getting that person. And that's what they did.
It's thought the raid was launched from Tabala. Set down for Saturday, it was postponed due to weather. At 1:30 Pakistan time on Monday morning, 2 Black Hawk helicopters carried 25 Navy SEALs to the compound with another team as backup. As they hovered above, one of the helicopters stalled, failing to cope with its own turbulence. It had to land.
When that helicopter was seen to be unable to move, all of a sudden you had to go into Plan B.
22 people lived in the compound, many of them women and children. They were caught by surprise, but put up resistance.
He was engaged in a firefight with those that entered the area of the house that he was in, and whether or not he got off any rounds, I quite frankly don't know.
The Navy SEALs cleared this small building first, before moving to the main building, where bin Laden and his family lived, on the 2nd and 3rd floors. His son was killed, so was a woman. The US team deliberately destroyed the broken chopper on the ground in a massive explosion. The whole operation took just 40 minutes.
The Navy SEALs were surprised at what they found. There were more documents and equipment than they expected. Things like computers, hard drives, files, CD-ROMs, etc. And so there was quite a bit to not only take back, but now to exploit.
So how did they find him? The official version is that 2 years ago, the CIA discovered bin Laden's chief courier was living there with his brother. He was a protege of 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, according to evidence obtained at Guantanamo. It's thought the Haqqani network, led by Malvi Haqqani, with close links to the Taliban, may have facilitated the location. But the proximity to a major military academy raises questions about whether the ISI, Pakistan's intelligence service, knew about what was going on. And if Pakistan's leaders didn't know, then why not?
Do I think that should preclude our dealing with the Pakistani military? On the contrary, I think it's important that countries like Australia, but particularly the major Western countries, have direct dealings with the Pakistani military and encourage them in the right direction. To cut all links with them would seem to me to be quite self-defeating.
The compound itself is 900 square metres, walls above 5 metres, topped with barbed wire. There were 2 security gates and no outward-facing windows. Built just 5 years ago, the conclusion many have reached is that this was purpose-built. The body of the man, codenamed Geronimo, was flown to Afghanistan, Bagram Air Base, we're told, then washed, wrapped in white cloth, and pushed into the sea. Conspiracy theories are rife, but it's clear the most expensive manhunt in history is over. The body was offered to Saudi Arabia, which refused to accept it.
Hamish McDonald there. And Hugh Riminton joins us now from Canberra. And Hugh, will this change the Gillard's government's attitude at all insofar as our involvement in Afghanistan is concerned?
Well, it would be nice to think that our troops could now just come home. That's certainly what Bob Brown of the Greens says they should do. He says we went in there initially to capture or kill Osama bin Laden, and now that he's dead, we can all come home. It's not going to happen. The Prime Minister was in our office today a couple of times, and in the course of the day, she has made it plain that Australia will stay on there. We have a timetable of getting out in our substantial combat role by 2014, possibly sticking around for many hours after that in some lower role. The reason we can't get out just because bin Laden is dead is because he really has had no relevance whatsoever to the battle we've been fighting in Afghanistan for some years. He wasn't in command and control. He wasn't directing the insurgency. In fact, Al-Qaeda fighters as such, all those foreign fighters that he brought in over the years, had long since disappeared. They were down, according to some analysts, down to fewer than 100 Al-Qaeda fighters. The people we are fighting, over 90% of them, the insurgents that we capture or kill, are found within 10 kilometres of where they lived. It is a local insurgency. It is a long-term battle, George.
Thanks for that, Hugh.